In the last 24 months, something remarkably quiet but undeniably terrifying has happened in the world of archaeology. While the world was distracted by geopolitical chaos and technological shifts, the ground beneath our feet began to speak. We are not talking about the discovery of a new potsherd or a slightly older coin. We are talking about data points, dozens of them. Discoveries that do not just adjust the timeline of human history, they shatter it. These findings are not broadcast on the evening news. They are not debated in the open lecture halls of major universities. They are quietly filed away, labeled with the most dangerous phrase in science, anomalous data. Or, more often, they are dismissed with two words, measurement error. But here's the problem with errors. When you have one, it is a mistake. When you have five, it is a coincidence. But when you have hundreds appearing on every continent simultaneously, it is no longer an error. It is a pattern. And if these findings are real, it means the history books are not just incomplete, they are fiction. It means the story of humanity has been rewritten, redacted, and pasted over not once, but perhaps dozens of times. Let us look at the stone. The official narrative tells us that our ancestors moved from stone tools to soft metals like copper and bronze. We are told that the magnificent structures of the deep past, the pyramids, the megalithic walls of Peru, the temples of India, were built with copper chisels, stone hammers, and time. Infinite time. But recent analysis of stone artifacts from Egypt, Peru, and Russia has revealed marks that simply should not exist. We are finding tube drill holes in red granite, one of the hardest stones on Earth, that show a feed rate of 1/10 of an inch per revolution. To put that in perspective, a modern diamond-tipped drill, spinning at high velocity, cuts through granite at a rate 4 times slower than these ancient, primitive tools. We see core samples where the spiral groove of the cut sinks into the quartz and feldspar with zero deviation. A copper chisel cannot do this. A stone hammer cannot do this. Even a bronze saw with sand abrasive cannot create the microscopic regularity we are seeing. These are not the marks of manual labor. These are the signatures of machining. In the Serapeum of Saqqara, there are granite boxes weighing up to 70 tons. The interior corners of these boxes are machined to a 90-degree angle so precise that modern engineers with laser levels are baffled. The surfaces are flat to within 2/10,000ths of an inch. If you try to achieve this level of precision by hand with a stone, rubber, and sand, you will fail. This requires rigid, fixed-axis machinery. It requires technology that officially did not exist until the late 20th century. Yet there it sits, collecting dust, attributed to people who supposedly hadn't even invented the wheel. But the anomalies are not just in the technology, they are in the timeline itself. The standard model says Homo sapiens evolved, left Africa, and slowly populated the world, but the ground is telling a different story. In the last few years, footprints have been analyzed in geological layers that are simply impossible. At White Sands, footprints were dated to 23,000 years ago, thousands of years before humans were supposed to be in the Americas. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. In Crete, footprints with unmistakable human anatomy were found in strata dated to 5.7 million years ago. In classic geology, this is the era of primitive apes, not bipedal walkers with modern arches. The skeptics scream erosion or misidentification. They have to, because if they admit that a human foot stepped in that mud 5 million years ago, the entire theory of evolution and civilization collapses. It suggests that humanity is not a linear progression. It suggests we are a recurring phenomenon, that we have risen, walked this earth, built empires, and vanished, only to start again from zero, leaving nothing but a footprint in a rock that turned to stone over eons. And where did these previous versions live? The answer might not be on the surface, it might be below it. The revolution of LiDAR technology, laser scanning of the ground from aircraft, has stripped away the jungles of the Amazon and the forests of Europe. And what we are seeing is frightening. We are not finding scattered villages, we are finding the grids of massive continent-spanning metropolises. We are finding tunnel systems that run for miles, connecting locations with a precision that implies a unified global engineering project. In Turkey, the underground city of Derinkuyu was once thought to be a simple refuge, but ground-penetrating radar is now showing it is merely one node in a massive network. Who builds a city for 20,000 people, 18 stories underground, with ventilation shafts drilled through bedrock, unless the surface of the earth was uninhabitable? These are not caves. This is infrastructure. This is the work of a civilization that knew the sky was their enemy. Whether it was solar flares, a shifting magnetic pole, or a cosmic winter, someone spent generations carving out a backup drive for humanity deep within the crust. They were hiding. And you do not hide unless you are being hunted by the planet itself. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of this investigation is the silence. The museums of the world are filled with out-of-place artifacts, Ooparts, objects that defy the chronological order, a mechanism found in a shipwreck that calculates the movement of planets, a spark plug encased in a geode aged at 500,000 years, gold jewelry found in coal seams formed millions of years ago. You can see these items in the dusty corners of provincial museums, but try to find them in the Smithsonian. Try to find them in the British Museum. They are often labeled as ritual objects or 19th century hoaxes and then moved to storage. Storage Room B, the place where inconvenient history goes to die. There are verified reports of researchers requesting access to these artifacts, only to be told they are lost or misplaced. Why? Because a single golden thread found in a block of Carboniferous coal proves that a manufacturing civilization existed 300 million years ago. And if that is true, then we are not special. We are not the pinnacle. We are just the weeds growing on the ruins of a palace we cannot even comprehend. When you assemble these fragments, the high-speed machining marks, the impossible footprints, the global underground networks, and the suppressed artifacts, a terrifying picture resolves. We have been wrong about the shape of history. We viewed time as an arrow shooting forward from primitive to advanced, but time is a wheel. It turns, it crushes, it resets. The archaeological record shows global scorching layers. It shows sudden spikes in platinum consistent with comet impacts. It shows evidence of massive immediate floods that washed entire continents clean. Civilization does not die slowly. It is murdered. It is erased by the cyclical violence of our solar system. The civilization that cut the granite in Egypt, the ones who built the walls in Peru, they didn't just forget how to use their machines. Their machines were vaporized. Their cities were buried under miles of mud. Their survivors were forced into caves, traumatized, forgetting their science, keeping only the myths of gods who could fly and cut stone with light. We are living in the amnesia of a species. We are walking through a graveyard of empires, thinking we are the first ones to build a skyscraper. And this leads us to the final, most haunting thought. The silence of the desert, the erosion on the Sphinx, the empty halls of the underground cities, they are a warning. If it happened to them, to the ones who were stronger, who built bigger, who had technology we still cannot replicate, why do we think we are immune? We are looking for aliens, we are looking for ghosts, but the scariest thing we could possibly find in the dark of a cave is a Wirtz that stopped ticking 100,000 years ago, because it means that the clock is ticking for us too. The mechanism of the reset is still active, the wheel is still turning, and the only question left is not who were they. The question is, how much time do we have left before we become the anomalous artifacts for the next version of humanity?